Welcome once again to the Guy Who Knows a Guy podcast. I'm Michael Whitehouse, the guy who knows a guy, and this is the ultimate interview of the Potapalooza 16 series. And our ultimate guest is Dr. Tamir Qadree, who's going to be talking about creating dynamic results because he is the dean of dynamic results with a double doctorate in the field of metaphysical philosophy. And wait, I don't know the other thing. What's the other half of your double doctorate?
Metaphysical counseling, mystical research. So
okay. Oh, there it is. Yes, mystical research. There we go. See, it's Potapalooza. I can't read. So anyway, so I love this concept of dynamic results. So tell me a little bit about what you do and where you come from.
Well, what I do is get results. I was born in Chicago, raised in California, spent time in the Caribbean, and such and such. But as far as the dynamic results, that's something that I noticed in my life. I've always been results driven. I've always been not satisfied with just reading something. I want to do it. I actually want to do that. And I've been like that all my life since I was a little boy. I remember when I was 8 years old in Chicago, knocking on doors to go to store for people. I was DoorDash before DoorDash, knocking on doors to go to the store for them to give me 15 cents, 20 cents to do it, to dig their yard up in the springtime in Chicago to help plant the seeds. I was DoorDash before DoorDash. And I knew that getting results about asking me questions, getting to the result. There you go. Nice. In a nutshell.
And so how did it lead from knocking on doors in Chicago to a double doctorate and doing that full time?
That's a long story, but it ties in. That led me to, I love communication. I realized that I was a communicator. Okay, here's how I led to that, getting the doctorate. As just a short version. I was 12 years old. And my uncle used to take me out with him fishing, okay? He drank a lot of beer and he talked all the time. And he'd take me out because I talked too. And he'd listen to me. He'd say, talk. He'd just shut up and let me talk. Let me talk. Then he'd bring my other uncle over and say, come over. Listen to this boy. He said, talk. Listen to this young man. Listen to what he has to say. I knew then that I had something to say. I remember one thing I told him, life is a dream. Okay, it's a dream that we create on reality. We create our own world by the way we think. Okay, he's listening to me. And by his encouraging me to speak and to encourage what I was saying, the wisdom that came out of me, that encouraged me to go further into studying astrology, studying books and history and things like that. Then I began to study later on in life self-help. I became a self-help enthusiast about 35 years ago, really strong into self-help, self-development. I saw Anthony Robbins, Les Brown, read about Jim Rohn, who ended up being my first endorser, Jim Rohn, my first celebrity endorser. I'm going to read about those people. And I said, wait a minute, that's me. And I knew I wasn't trying to be them. That's me. Then I got to University of Metaphysics. I found out that there's a course in how you think and mindset development. There are degrees in how to do that. So the field I took, which is now taught in Harvard, up until 3 years ago, mainstream schools wouldn't teach metaphysics because it's considered religious in nature. Now Harvard teaches it. Harvard teaches the degree I have, okay, 20 years after I got it. So that's how I got into from self-help to metaphysics, mystical research about how the mind works. You're about NLP and all that. Well, all that's really mystical research, how the mind works. None of that stuff is new. It's just repackaged, rebaked, and renamed. So I know it's a long way to say it, but that's basically how I got into it.
Love it. So tell me, what is, for those who are not familiar, what is metaphysics and metaphysical philosophy?
Metaphysics is really, to break it down, is a study of what you can't see. It's a study of things beyond your breath. You can't touch your breath. You can't you can't see certain things, but you know they're there. It's what's beyond the phenomena. It's the noumena, beyond the phenomena. It's bridging those two. It's thoughts. It's bridging those two. It's creating things out of so-called thin air, because everything come out of thin air anyway. And to prove that, the devices we're using right now, the plane you see came out of somebody's mind first, came from a vision in their mind. Those things are metaphysical. Self-help is really come from metaphysics. Metaphysics come from mystics, which is how everything in your body works. That's a short version. That's my definition of it.
Interesting. And so how does that tie into creating those dynamic results?
The way it ties in is that since what you think about, you bring about. How it ties in. There are three things that matter: the habits you have, okay, the focus you have, the way you analyze yourself, and your sexual energy. I'll talk about the last one. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill spoke about transmutation of sexual energy, if you've ever read that book. And talk about how the richest people in the world he studied at the time both understood how to transmute their energy. Whether they knew it or not, they did it. That energy, that union of the sperm and the ovum, is the most powerful energy in man. That's what creates everything. That same energy, if dissipated, you could be a bum on the street, or you could be a prince in a castle. Okay, that energy creates. So once you know how to control that energy, how to make it submit, not suppress it, submit to you, that same energy is what Einstein used to create the theory of relativity. That same energy is used to create the train. That same energy is used to make Michael Jordan what he was. It's the same energy. How do you transmute it? I teach a skill set and a technique of how to transmute that, and it works. That's one thing I do.
Okay.
Then I talk about habits. Your habits are grooves in your brain. Habits are automatic mental machine, but you can change those grooves with a little work and paying attention to it. So the things I teach go on that line, and they all tie to what I love. My favorite field in entrepreneurial endeavors is sales. I love sales. I've been top producer in billion-dollar companies. Taking me 4 months to do it. The president called and said, "Who in the hell is that guy?" Because I've always understood that. So I thank God for that. Thank people that have helped me along the way in the books I've read, people I've talked to, and people like you that are very encouraging to me.
Good. I'm honored to be included in that list. And so you've been doing this for, you said, a few decades, so a little while. And so where's your current focus right now? What audience are you working with, and what kind of work are you doing primarily right now?
My current focus is I have a podcast called Dynamic Results on Fire. I have a course I created called Creating Dynamic Results, 8-module course. I did all the work for the course. I'm doing the videos now. I'm involved in coaching and strategic planning with entrepreneurs. I love one-on-ones. I love group coaching, but I love to take people from point A to point B. I get a weird kick. I get actually a kick out of seeing people be successful. I really do. I get a kick out of seeing people take what I give them and work it. I tell them, you're not going to work it, don't mess with me. Go somewhere else. If you're going to use it, if it don't work, I will stick with you to the end of earth until you can get something to work. We have to shift something to do something. Okay. So my main focus is coaching and speaking, and work with entrepreneurs and sales professionals, people in the mindset field, because they're more receptive, because they're into self-improvement. People like yourself, you're already receptive to what I'm doing. So if I can just take you from here at point A to point B to get a result. In short, everything is a result of something. Find out how your grandmother made that cake, what ingredients, you can do the same thing. I always use Kobe Bryant as an example. Kobe Bryant copied Michael Jordan, period. But he wasn't Michael Jordan, he was Kobe Bryant. There's nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you copy the right cat.
I like it. And I'd like to bring up, one-to-one coaching again, because that's something that's been coming up a lot, both in the interviews and other places I've been traveling recently. And, because a lot of people in the industry, they talk about, getting away from one-to-one because you want to scale and you want leverage because everyone's got to be build their 7-figure empire. But I think the real action happens in those one-to-one, because you can make more impact, working directly with one person, supporting them, than you can with a course or something larger than that, depending on what it is. But in the coaching space, where it's really helping someone unlocking their potential and creating those dynamic results, that seems like something where one-to-one is where the real magic happens.
Yeah, it's a gradual. I learned this from the mastermind group with Anthony Robbins. Great program. I'm not trying to promote it, but it's a great program. There's a success ladder that I built, a ladder, value ladder. You got to bring people along. You get a free checklist or sales guide, or I got a free ebook, sign up for it, boom. Then I have an ebook. Okay, you can buy the ebook. And then from there, you have a course, an 8-module course. From there, I have a coaching program. Right now, I'm building a mastermind program. I'm building a ladder. Over the last year, I've been building this ladder. So everybody want to rush and get everything right now. But I've been taking the time to build the ladder. So I've been in this space for years. I'm just getting into the space now. This online space, learning space, is said to be $1 trillion industry in the next 4 years. Yep. So I'm just getting into this space, right? So I'm building this value ladder. I'm up to the last step now, the mastermind and beyond. Okay, that ladder is built. Now, I wasn't so much worried about making money right now doing that ladder. Just keep doing what I'm doing. but you want to build a ladder for people to gradually grow. When they see your free lead magnet, they want to know, what else does he have? Oh, he has an ebook. What else does he have? He has a course. Okay, I like this. What else does he have? Group coaching. What else? Each one of them costs more now.
Yep.
Oh, he does individual one-on-one coaching. Oh my God. And for those people that earn $100,000 a year or more in their business, I have a mastermind that I'm developing right now. So it's gradual. It's gradual. That way you're bringing people along in their own step and own timing.
Yeah.
People that they have no money, people have a lot of money. It's a graduated process that I learned.
Yep. And it's great too, because it's accessible. There's something accessible to everyone.
Everyone, no matter what level you're on.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not going to just, average entrepreneur, I'm not going to just coach with me. You're going to pay me $10,000. You're going to do that or more.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to do that. I don't come to people like that. When I give people a chance to get a complimentary coaching session from me, I tell them, put your credit card in your pocket. I don't want your money. That ain't what this call is about. Too many people out there, it turns me off. Get on your calendar and trying to sell you something. They're trying to coach you. How do you know if Michael needs your services? How do you know if he wants your services? Had you asked the right questions, you would have known that. You'd have known if he can afford it, if he's there, if he's into that, you would have known it.
Yeah.
Instead of having commission breath. The sincerity part, I'm all about sincerity. Sincerity is everything. Money's a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. It doesn't run me. There you go.
Yeah, that's a really key point there. I love that, being focused. And that's one of the challenges in our industry, is that there's, and I think this happens when you scale too, because once you have overhead of $400,000 a year, you gotta pay those people, you gotta pay those bills, and so you get these coaches who get wrapped, get that their money becomes their master, and then they're focused on driving the sales, so they got to make the money, and secondarily helping people. Hopefully some people get helped.
Look, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, and that's things, and then you hear the stories about people who are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. Their business hasn't made $40,000, and they give up on the business because they're like, guess I'm bad at business. Look, I'm so much in debt, I can't afford anything else. And it sounds like, you're one of the good ones who doesn't want to take someone's, you're not telling someone, go refinance your house to give me your money.
No.
And you're not ready for me yet.
No, if they're not ready, listen. If they're not, see, what I do is going to come back to me.
Yeah.
If they're not ready, it's like going to a doctor and you telling the doctor, my toe hurt. The doctor said, no, your brain hurt. No, my toe hurt. No, your ear hurt. My toe hurt. Your ear hurt. That's a quack doctor. A lot of coaches and solutionists do that.
Yeah.
They'll get online with you and say, I had a guy do me like that. He had no idea who I was. I'm not saying I'm all this guy. I need assistance too. I paid money for coaching. I've done all that. Okay. So this guy talked to me for 20 minutes, then asked me for $12,000. I said, seriously? Here's the problem with this guy. The guy was good now, and he probably could deliver some of what he said. I have no doubt about it. Here's the problem. He never asked me what I wanted. Where was I at? He never asked that question. He's a big-time coach, makes a lot of money. He's yada, yada, yada. So it makes, now I question, really? You didn't ever ask me what I wanted. You never asked me what I was looking for. Isn't that important in trying to coach or sell something to somebody? Sales is the art of finding someone that has finding the pain point or discuss, solving that pain puzzle so they can enjoy the pleasure principle. That's what sales, that's what motivation is. That's what life is all about. That's what loving your neighbor is all about. Helping them solve a pain or problem and get to the pleasure and enjoyment of life. Those are only two motivators everybody have. If you do that, you're successful. People are going to find you.
Yeah, that being focused there is crucial. I'm reminded of I attended this 3-day boot camp a couple of years ago, and I wasn't even there as a prospect. I was there as a potential promotional partner for the coach. And on this Saturday night, but I'm still hearing the pitch and hearing everything. And so I checked in my intuition and I said, is this something worth looking at? And my intuition's response basically came back as, no, don't waste any energy thinking about it, and you'll understand why. And I'm like, all right, cool. I don't need to think about this anymore. I'll just kind of passively let it in. So I'm talking to him Saturday night. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And he says, so what do you think of the program? Do you think the program's interesting to you? I'm like, no, my intuition says it's not a fit. It says it's not something I need to do. And he's like, oh, your intuition isn't trained. You haven't made $1 million yet. So that's just fear talking. And I immediately was like, oh, That's what I was waiting to hear, to be absolutely confident this is a guy I'd never hire. Because
Exactly.
he's telling me he knows my intuition better than I do.
Yes. That's why the guy told me this. He told me amount of money. I said, really? I said, let me get back with you. The guy called me about an hour later. This big time guy, big online group. I won't even mention what it is. You probably heard about him before. He big group, and he called me back. Brother, I got an idea for you. I said, call me. You could pay me half and then pay me $300 a week and then pay me the other half in a few months and we'll do blah, blah. Now, you're so confident, you're so successful, you got to call me back to try to sell me again. Really? That shows me that, brother, there's something not there.
Yeah.
Then he writes back. He said, if you don't coach with me, you're effing crazy. I said, if I don't coach with you, you will be successful and I'll be successful. Then he writes back, no, I'll be great and you'll be normal, regular. And I said, in that case, no, thank you. Well, I'm going to block your number and delete you. And I just laughed. It's so funny. And I'm not harping on, I'm not telling his name. So what? It's so funny that that happens like that.
Yeah.
People, I've had people on LinkedIn get on their calendar, get on my calendar, try to sell me something. You don't know me. It's about relationships first. Hey, brother, it's about relationships. When you go to McDonald's build a relationship. I don't care if you like McDonald's or not.
Yeah.
You go to Penny's or anything, they build a relationship with you. Yes, they did. You went to the store, you saw a commercial, don't you? You have a relationship. That's a relationship. Build a relationship. My first podcast is called Relationship Currency, called Dynamic Results on Fire. My podcast, shameless plug, Dynamic Results on Fire every Monday on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, wherever you go to get your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking about results on fire, how to get results. Okay. And you have to understand that relationship currency, the very first one.
Yeah.
You got to build relationships. Relationship currency. What's currency mean? It has to flow.
Yeah.
You're going for the money. It's like going for the house. It's like going for the house to move in, and yet the ground ain't broken yet, but you bring your furniture to move in. The ground is not broken, but you bring your furniture to move in.
Yeah.
You got to build it first.
Yep.
Where's your patience?
And this is so great because I was talking to Christina Jensen earlier today. So anyone who hasn't listened to that episode, check that out when you're done with this one, because she would tell you about the 3 key questions for selling, which, basically building a sales call around questions. And her 3 key questions are what's your greatest challenge that you want to address? What would it do for you to solve that challenge? And then what is getting in your way of solving that challenge? And then structuring it around those 3 questions, and to then pivot it into, if you believe you can help, I believe you can help, I can help you with that. And that's, the exact opposite strategy of what Mr. Big Time that you were talking to was doing, where he's just telling you how great he was. And
automatically, everything's, I see your website, it needs this needs that. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And it may be true. I'm not saying that. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Oh, wow. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, wow. Really? Now, there's a lot of people out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people that do that. And you're going to have that in industry. You're going to have that. It's just a part of life. And it tells more about them than about you. You can learn from people like that. But that's the opposite of what I am. I've never been like that. I never will be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, I was watching a video today about what are referred to as entrepreneurs, which is the cross of con men and entrepreneurs.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Search on YouTube for entrepreneur, and the videos are great because they are takedowns of these.
Can you email me that stuff?
Yeah, these con men entrepreneurs. But one was about this guy, and he was talking about how they intentionally have a low quality webinar, because people like you and me will watch that and be like, this is crap, I'm out of here. Because they don't want us. We're too smart. We're going to upset them. They want people who don't understand how the internet works, who think that Audible is a new thing that just came out. And so they're looking for a certain lower level of customer who will pay and think this is amazing and kind of fall for their stuff.
Wow.
And it's fascinating because, you realize sometimes the low quality, high abrasive selling strategy is to filter out someone like you and me, who's going to, sue them and demand our money back, but wants the guy who doesn't know any better. Is like, oh, wow, he's calling me back. I must be special. I need to find the money for him. So, because unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who money is what drives them, and they're not trying to help people. They're trying to help
Look,
themselves at the expense of others.
One of my books called Reclining Master Awaken, shameless plug. A lady bought my book at a seminar with me and Jim Rohn, and where I met Jim Rohn at, and I signed it for her. And she wrote a comment and she called me. When I called her back, she said, "Oh my God, he called me. Oh my God, he called me." I said, "Duh, you called me first. Duh." I said, "I'm a regular person. Like, if I just use the bathroom just like you do, I called you back." She was so, "Oh my God, he called me." Yeah, you called me, and I typically return calls. When I get where I can't return calls, I'll get a VA to help me.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not phony. I'm not the fake phony guy.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna check out your podcast because I'm liking your energy and I want to hear more of this. So I will definitely be listening to yours.
Well, check out my links. Put my links in there because my links I give people. Yeah. I give them that free. It's a lead magnet. It's called "Don't Play Yourself, Play Lotto." 7 keys of self-empowerment.
I love it. Yeah. So that link will be down in the description.
Right, yeah, sure. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, this has been great. I've really enjoyed this. It's a great way to cap off the Potapalooza experience. And
you're wearing my shirt too, brother. I got it. I have a shirt just like I had one just like that. You're wearing my shirt. Give it back, copycatter. You're a copycatter, dude. I'm telling you.
As long as I'm copying the right cat.
Hey, back at you, my brother from another mother. Man, I love this. I hope we can get together again on whatever platform you want. Let me know. I love your energy and everything. Man, I just love it. You're one of the best I've talked to all day.
Well, thank you. At the end of the day, so it's not like you're talking to me second and saying that. So
it's the energy you bring.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll definitely have to work together more.
Send me that link so I can follow you. I want to follow you.
All right, will do.
Thank you, brother. And give my shirt back. You can have it. All right.